what was interesting, two things. We're so used to talking about the Mariners farm system. Oh, they're the best. They're one, they're two, depending on what publication you're looking at. That's no longer true because the majority of those players that made them the number one or number two farm system are either up with the big club now or they've been traded.
He totally forgot about the fact that Felmin Celestine just got signed to the Seattle Mariners.
Who can help them offensively? Who's closest to getting up here to help what is their biggest problem, which is offense? It's been their biggest problem for a couple of seasons now.
Am I the only one that thinks that the bullpen is actually the problem? Like, did everyone forget that the Mariners bullpen were the ones that blew a significant lead against Houston in Game 1 of the American League Division Series? Like, I feel like I'm the only one that has been crying for better bullpen help. But while everyone, including the mainstream media, mainstream fans, typical Mariners fans, they're asking for more offense, when it's really the pitching.
Yeah. I mean, it's something to look forward to, I guess, in the way of names. But I'm looking at who helps them this year. What do you do to help the offense? Are we just counting on the progression of everybody? Everybody just gets better?
I just really like how everyone is really ignoring the fact that the bullpen really does need help. Because don't forget, although the Mariners got Teoscar Hernandez, as if I said it so many times in this channel, we lost Eric Swanson, and it didn't really seem that the Mariners made a legitimate replacement for him. Like, the only notable pitcher I can really remember is Trevor Gott, and he was signed on the cheap, and it's not like he's going to be a big impact bullpen pitcher at all. And don't forget about the fact that the Mariners still don't have an established closer. Unless Andres Munoz is the guy, there's still a lot of question marks on this team on who the closer really is, because I don't like the idea of having a closer by committee, especially last year when it was like between Sewald, Munoz, or whoever. It's just not well organized at all. And when this season starts, like, don't be surprised if this bullpen does have issues. Like, you can cry about the offense all you want, but just remember, and people like me and someone maybe even older, you guys do remember 1997 and 1998 where the Mariners just had record amazing amount of offense, but they still had problems in their bullpen, which prevented them from making it to the World Series in 1997. They couldn't even get out of the American League Division Series. And in 1998, didn't even make the playoffs or even get close to it. And all I can say this at the very end, if you don't have a bullpen, your offense doesn't matter. Not at all. And 1997 and 1998 completely proved it. And the only reason why the bullpen, quote, looks good is because the starting pitching carried that team into the later innings, so the bullpen didn't have to do that much. But there were several times when Scott Service pulls the starters out, the bullpen just completely blows it. But nobody wants to admit it. Because why?
Everybody's on it, don't forget it.
But those are my thoughts on the Wyman and Bob show. And personally, I haven't really been a fan of the Seattle sports radio show in quite some time. Like I have had issues with this show for a decade, if not more, because they refuse to point out the actual problems of this team. And sometimes I feel like they just have no idea what they're talking about, which is why I started a YouTube channel myself, so I can say all of my opinions the way I want to, not exactly how the sports radio wants them to say, or they just completely have no idea what they're talking about. So if you do prefer a more honest take like what I do, please subscribe to this channel. If not, well, I guess you can just sheep off and just listen to Seattle Sports Radio.